So the STEM Centre has been a really important inclusion to the overall facilities of the school. One of its big advantages is the flexibility that it provides. Unlike a traditional single classroom, which is really only very limited ways that you can make use of the space, this space has a range of different options, how it can be configured, and because of that it allows for much more variety in terms of the way that you can interact with students, and they can interact with each other in terms of small groups, large groups, teacher-directed or individual work. So that flexibility has been absolutely key to providing an environment where we can pursue different teaching and learning practices.
We've made all of the spaces bookable so that teachers can choose a space that best suits the activities students will be undergoing in a lesson and meets the learning goals that teachers have most effectively.
We've got a variety of different spaces. Pretty much everything is movable. Things can be made bigger, smaller to suit your purpose. You can have groups working in different areas, and it's also very easy to keep track of where people are.
I really like how it's a large open space, and I've got a visual line of all students. Students really love coming down to the makerspace because there's an assortment of seating options for them, and they can get comfortable in their environment. And it gives them a large area and a variety of different equipment to use.
The space that the kids are getting to use today is awesome because clearly they can mix and easily spread out, connect with other spaces because there's lots of glass doors around the place. You can collaborate and share, or you can have your own little space to work on specific activities.
We can have some students working outdoors in growing plants or designing and making things in the outdoor space, while others are working on a theory component of an activity inside. And the openness of the space allows teachers to supervise all of those activities at once. The really great thing about the design of the two different lab spaces is that one's tailored to longer practicals and longer investigations that go throughout a whole double lesson, while the other is more about short, sharp demonstrations and quick activities that engage students in the learning before they go back to their classes to apply that in a classroom setting. The presentation space is an outstanding teaching area for senior school students. It's highly engaging in the way that we've structured the classroom, and it really draws all students into discussions and conversations, which increases their engagement in the learning.
Teachers working in teams is one of the ways that we can get a huge amount of benefit out of the variety of expertise that our staff members have. So more and more we're asking teachers to work collaboratively with different groups of students, and having a space where they can configure those groupings in a variety of ways is really conducive to that approach to teaching. So they might have a large group, they might have small groups, they might have teachers working in and out of different configurations. That's much more difficult in a traditional classroom. New facilities such as this provide a lot more options in terms of arranging the teaching and learning practices where more than one teacher is responsible for a group of students.
The really great thing about the STEM A and B classrooms is that we're able to combine students between those two by opening up the doors and also combining out into the makerspace, where we can then bring them together, share teacher expertise, get them collaborating amongst one another. This is something that we do really effectively with the Building Sustainable Communities project and also the Vertical Garden project. At first, staff had a lot of concerns about the amount of glass in the space and how open the environments were, but now that's led to a lot more collaboration between teachers, where they're going into each other's classes to see what's happening, and also a lot more sharing and collegiality between our teaching staff.
Having the ability to make the space bigger really makes it a lot easier to have team teaching with two classes in the one space at the same time. Having the ability to also close the doors at some times also enables you to break out with your own class and then come back together as a group later on. So the versatility of the space really lends itself to team teaching.
I really like team teaching in the makerspace because there's no infrastructure I have to remove to be able to do that. We can just come down here and we can just get straight to it.
The really great thing about the STEM makerspace behind me is that it allows us to run a lot of different events in the area. We've had parent nights, graduation ceremonies, robotics clubs, and also staff PD events in the space. It also allows students and staff to work across the area, doing a range of different practical and non-practical activities in an environment that's comfortable for them.
One of the things that's really important to us is to have a strong working relationship with our feeder primary schools. We have facilities and staff in particular areas of expertise that they might not necessarily have. So we want to work very closely with them to share those facilities and share the knowledge that we have, but also to learn from them in terms of working with students. And being able to work in a facility like this is really conducive to that sort of engagement with our primary schools, and it provides opportunities for those students that they wouldn't otherwise have. And we found that to be absolutely vital in building up those really important relationships with our surrounding schools and the students, many of whom become our students in future years.
One of the best ways we've been able to use the STEM Centre is for the STEM Career Development Days for our feeder primary schools, where we bring in groups of Year 5 students and expose them to a number of different STEM careers. We get them engaged in activities like dissections, chemical experiments and robotics to try and give them an idea of some of the potential STEM pathways in their future.
Today's fantastic opportunity for the kids from West Lakeshore schools to be involved in a range of activities that encompass the notion of STEM. In a primary school setting, we don't have the facilities, we don't have the equipment, and so the kids don't have the opportunity to focus on specific areas.
We've come to this new STEM building here at the school, which is absolutely fantastic. Each station that we've been working at has its own specialised equipment and technology. Students enjoy collaborative learning opportunities just as much as I am.
The setup of the space is fantastic. It's allowed the kids to work collaboratively together, and they feel like they are young scientists in the gear, the labs, the glasses, and they're using all of the correct equipment, which is fantastic. So it's allowing them to take what they're doing really seriously, and they're looking now further into the future and having a look at the types of careers that they might get from that, which has been fantastic.
The kids have really loved the hands-on aspect, I think, and also the differentiation between the lessons as well. So I think the variety for the children has been really, really good. One of the positives I've seen as well is the teamwork that's come along with the activities and the way that the teachers have encouraged kids just to get together, have a go and take some risks. One of the other positives are the students that are helping out with the tasks. So, you've got your lab assistants and those people that are helping with the robotics, and the students have been really accommodating but also working really well with the staff here at Seaton. That's been fabulous.
So today we've been doing squid dissection, a bit of robotics where we programmed Lego robots. We did some earthquake-proof buildings and then this chemistry. The thing I enjoyed most about today was doing robotics, because I got to work with some people that had experience in robotics, which I really enjoyed doing, and it was just really fun.
I reckon I will consider a STEM career because I've learnt a lot here and it's really fun.
Today's been good, a lot of experimenting, coding, learning new things.
The thing I liked most about today was doing this chemistry and getting my hands all dirty.
We ended up putting dry ice into something and food colouring, and what happened was bubbles started to come out and it looked super cool. And we got to legit cut open a squid, which I didn't think I would be doing because it was so cool, and that was probably one of my favourites.
We want to be able to bring the real world into the classroom, and a space like this is absolutely conducive to working in those sorts of activity-based and real-world based activities which we want to make a real focus of our teaching and learning moving forward.